What's up, everybody? Welcome to Observe and Proceed, where I observe, then proceed to react. And guess what? Another massive warehouse fire in California. This is the third one in the last 2 months. So, this just seems like someone's doing it on purpose. And a lot of toxins are being burnt into the air in these massive warehouses. This time it happened in LA. Yeah, it affected a lot of people. And it just screams deliberate to me, like someone's doing this on purpose. For what gain? I don't know. We don't know yet, but I'm sure we'll find out as time goes on. And also, I have a video of that storm in the south, in the Gulf, that had tornadoes, floods. We're going to see what happened with that as well in the end. But yeah, stick around to get through all of that. Before I do that, though, I'd like to thank all my subscribers, everyone that's been liking the video. Thank you. I appreciate you. And if you can do that for me right now, I'll appreciate you as well. Anyway, let's see what happened with this warehouse fire in LA.
And now at 11, a tense firefight to put out a raging toxic inferno that triggered shelter-in-place orders for nearby residents.
Look at that.
Thick black smoke and towering flames could be seen for miles as firefighters attacked the fire from the ground and the air.
Complicating the firefight was the leak of a highly toxic ammonia and the solar panels on top.
Yeah, so what I heard, because I live in the valley, I live a little away from this, that it smelled like ammonia. It was just a horrible stench throughout the whole LA. And we already have bad air quality, like probably the worst in the nation. Like, come on, man. They're trying to kill us like even faster than we're already being killed out of here. That's crazy.
The storage facility. John Fenolio is live in Boyle Heights, where firefighters are still on the scene at this hour. John.
Yeah, good evening once again, everyone. We can tell you that right now that shelter-in-place order has been lifted. It was lifted around 8:45 p.m. tonight, but earlier in the day, as these flames spread and that toxic smoke blanketed the air, firefighters were forced to pull back and call in the kind of air support we're used to seeing over wildfires, not in the heart of the city. From the street, it looked like an entire block was burning. Flames tearing through the roof of a massive warehouse, sending a towering column of black smoke over east.
Look at that. That's in the east side of LA too. But it's near downtown. And look at all that's when you see black smoke, just like the Tracy warehouse fire, that's all toxins. All of it is toxins. And I believe this is the second time this warehouse caught on fire. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Los Angeles.
It smells like very horrible, man, to breathe,
Yeah.
Chemicals, yeah.
A fire of stunning scale, consuming a field of solar panels atop the nearly 500,000 square foot facility located on the 1400 block of South Los Palos Street in Boyle Heights.
At least 3 helicopters on scene, possibly a 4th one coming in.
In a rare scene, fire department helicopters swooping low over the building, dropping thousands of gallons of water onto the roof. Fire Chief Jamie Moore says crews initially attacked the blaze from the roof and interior, but the situation changed quickly.
We did have fire that reached a ammonia line.
And before he gets into that, it's crazy. You saw the helicopter. Like he said before, they only do that with wildfires. Like, they didn't even do that in the Tracy fire, I don't think. But, yeah, they sent that in because they knew the roof was going to collapse. It might spread to other buildings. So they had to send that in. Because at first, it was firefighters on top of that structure trying to put it out. And I'm like, wait. If the Tracy warehouse roof caved in, wouldn't this one? So they immediately got them off and they sent in that helicopter. That was pretty wild. I was watching it live.
And with that ammonia line, that ammonia started off-gassing. The incident commander then immediately asked all companies to pull from the inside of the building and pull off of the roof.
That ammonia leak prompting fire officials to evacuate about 70 people who live near the warehouse. Hundreds more told to shelter in place due to the toxic smoke drifting east of the fire.
They were saying that to go back and stay inside the house and close everything.
The fire broke out around.
Yeah, but what are you supposed to breathe? You know what I mean?
30 at a commercial facility used for cold storage operations, where ammonia is commonly used as an industrial refrigerant.
It's ammonia,
As the smoke
man.
swallowed
That's
the
crazy.
sky, the choppers arrived just in time, knocking down a building fire that threatened to grow even worse.
I can tell you right now, the fire service will be discussing, because it's not in most operations that anybody would consider this. I commend our incident commanders and the firefighters who are on scene for thinking out of the box and using the tools that they have available.
Yeah, because they already know who works harder in the whole nation out of any fire department than the LA Fire Department, bro. They work harder than anybody, bro. There's so much fires out here, whether it be from arson, all these. Well, I think it's all arson, quite honestly, but there's just so much fires going on. They know better than anyone how to work this stuff. That's the only advantage we have. We got an all-star fire department now. Seasoned.
There was another fire in this warehouse on the roof involving solar panels back in 2024.
That's what I
The company
was talking
that
about.
operates the building is called Lineage. We have reached out to them for comment, but have not heard back.
Of course not. They're facing
that
lawsuits and litigation. So let's see some comments. So when are we going to admit this is all arson, right? And these companies need to be investigated for negligence. Right, that's what I'm saying. Someone said not arson, just piss poor design because the design was released before it was completely vetted. You know, that's something I would think, but when this is the third massive warehouse fire in 2 months, nah, man, something's going on. Yeah, this is a pattern so damn obvious, right? I'm just tired of the propagandists lying and keeping us in the dark about everything. Yeah, well, they're not going to admit to their crimes, bro. So let's see what the people of the neighborhood we're talking about here.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf continues our team coverage. He's tracking how people in the neighborhood handled the massive shelter-in-place order. Matthew.
Yeah, as Ed was saying, a much calmer situation now than just a couple of hours ago. Joe will show you, though, we're still seeing some smoke out here blowing into the neighborhood, which has some residents concerned.
It's not completely out.
Tonight, smoke continues blowing into neighborhoods in Boyle Heights. What was a massive warehouse fire still has residents sheltering in place.
Yeah, no, I'm going to stay inside, yeah, definitely until most of this clears out. You don't really want to be breathing this stuff, especially if
Why
you don't know
are you outside then?
what's in the air.
Man, I would leave the neighborhood.
The huge flames erupting late Wednesday afternoon on the roof of a massive cold storage warehouse. Neighbors
That's
reporting
wild.
the fire not far from their homes. Thick smoke seen for miles all across LA.
Yep.
Fortunately, the wind is blowing all the smoke right towards your shop.
I know, and like all the houses.
And let me tell you something about these masks. I mean, we already know from COVID, but they're not going to protect you from all the toxins. The toxins are micro particles. So they're getting through that mask. If you can breathe oxygen, you're breathing toxins. Just saying.
Even towards the mountains, it's going that way because my boyfriend's up in Altadena. He can smell it over there.
Residents leaving in a hurry with their pets, watching these from a safe distance.
Yeah, I believe the smoke
Constant
went
airdrops
east.
putting out the flames.
So that's why it went
looks
to
like they
Altadena.
got a good hand over it, but I've never seen helicopters dropping water in the city of LA.
Officials no longer
Hey, I
worried
never
about
seen that
ammonia,
either.
insisting the air is safe.
They drop it in,
The smoke
in
advisory and
forests
shelter in
and stuff.
place still in effect.
It's just a direct result of having commercial buildings in residential areas. To me, it's unfair. There's chemicals in the air that we still don't even know about.
Are you going to plan on staying home tonight and sleeping in it?
And if someone catches cancer, how can you link it to this? Because there's already so much cases of cancer out here in America in general. Like, you can't just link it to this, but I would say this expedites your chances right here. It's crazy.
We're just trying to be cautious. I would prefer us to all just kind of like move away from the area just in case.
Now
They
that
should,
shelter in place was
if you could.
downgraded just about 10 minutes ago, so residents are able to go about as they wish. Those with medical conditions are urged to use caution. We're live tonight in Boyle Heights. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Well, Matthew, I know you arrived there as this whole thing was raging. Do you think people are accepting that it's now safe for them to be able to
It's not safe.
have
We
to
just saw
shelter in
the
place? Are
smoke.
they asking questions that maybe they need to know more?
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. We're seeing some people out and about walking around with no mask. We're seeing others walking around with masks and just speaking with people. Some were unsure if they were going to stay the night over here. Others felt like they were safe to do so.
And give us a sense of how massive that building actually is. We saw it, of course, from the sky. It looked to be quite huge. How many blocks do you think it takes up there?
I mean, it's 250,000 square feet. So this is a massive building. I couldn't really estimate the amount of blocks, probably 3 or 4 square blocks at least. I mean, it's really big.
All right. Thank you for giving us that fresh perspective tonight. We appreciate it. And take a live look right now.
Yeah, look at this.
A look at this time lapse.
This is crazy.
This shows you when the fire
Whole
was
city
erupting.
engulfed.
It started at about 2:30 this afternoon.
Man.
You look at that huge.
I'm glad I live
plume
in the
of
valley,
smoke.
but this could
That
happen
is
out
the
here
LA
too, bro.
skyline
So
downtown that you're looking
I'm sure
at
some
right
of it
there.
flew my way.
And it gives you a sense of how quickly it erupted and how it filled the skies on this afternoon. So people could see it from all over Southern California. They were worried about it, but in particular, if you live there and they got that, shelter in place that affected thousands of people. So we're happy to be able to report tonight that the worst of it is over. Quick work.
I don't know if the worst of it is even over, because it's still those smog is still spreading. Looks like all the companies in LA are collecting on their insurance and getting the F out of LA because no water. I mean, there's a lot of people leaving, but I don't think all the companies. That's a stretch. That's crazy. I swear every customer I've delivered to in the past have been destroyed. Wait, what? This guy said it. Yeah, these executives need to be in prison. Medline, Kimberly-Clark, now Boyle. Those are the 3 in the last 2 months. What are the firefighters doing posing? What? What are the implications of that pollution? That's a great question. Minuscule compared to the chemical vaccination in your body. Oh my God. Okay, so this is the update as of today.
LA City firefighters remain on the scene of a massive fire in East LA. The fire chief just wrapped up a news conference with the very latest. KTLA's Eric Spillman is there in Boyle Heights with that very latest information. Eric, good morning.
Look at that
Morning,
street,
Frank.
bro.
We just heard the update, the little
It
briefing
looks
that we got
covered
from
in
LA
ash.
Fire Department Chief Jamie Moore, and he says you have firefighters in this area. They are monitoring this massive cold storage warehouse here that caught fire here yesterday.
It's not the greatest neighborhood
They
either, I'll
believe
tell
the
you that.
situation is safe. They continue to monitor the air quality. We don't see smoke coming from this side of the building, but if you look down the street, you're going to see haze. And earlier this morning, folks were driving around back there with their lights on because visibility was not so great. So a lot of smoke in the air from this fire. Sky 5 HD was overhead last hour. Let me show you what that vantage point
surprised the
looked like.
roof didn't
fire
collapse, so.
Still smoldering on the roof. Some of the solar panels
that's still
here
going
that
on,
were
like I
fire
said, it's not
yesterday,
over.
Still putting out some smoke. Firefighters still have their hose lines going
Those
up
toxins
to the
are
rooftop.
still
And the
spreading
result
through
is,
the air.
because of all that smoke, not just from today, but mostly from yesterday, there's a particle pollution advisory for this area coming from the South Coast Air Quality Management District. More
Right.
on that in just a minute, but first, show you some pictures
All
from
solar
yesterday.
panels.
This was a huge fire, broke out around 2:30 p.m. This is a 500,000 square foot building owned by Lineage Logistics cold storage facility. It's on the 1400
Storing
block of Southwest Palo
ammonia.
Street here in Boyle Heights. The fire
Ammonia.
spread quickly across solar panels on the roof of the warehouse. It sent a large column of black smoke into the sky. You could see it for miles. It also created a leak of toxic
see what the
ammonia into the air.
Fire chief had to say.
All of our firefighters are not only in full breathing protection, full firefighting protection, but some of them actually have been told and directed to put duct tape around anywhere where there may be skin contact, because that ammonia will cause irritation to the skin.
Dang. Even the skin. This is what I was talking about when
At
they
one
had them
point,
on the
firefighters
roof.
had to retreat from the roof of the warehouse for their own safety. They had to get out of the building. They had to run away.
They thought they could put
and the
this
fire
out that
department
quick.
decided on a
What?
tactic it doesn't normally use for commercial fires in industrial areas. It brought in water-dropping helicopters. Normally,
We do
you
got
only
an
see them on
all-star
brush
squad
fires,
now.
but
They're-
here they
they're
were,
highly
not far
seasoned.
from downtown LA, dumping water onto the flames on top of the building.
Lineage needs to be
Creative
investigated.
type of strategy, and it worked.
Who owns
Firefighters
them?
were able to
Probably
get a handle on
BlackRock.
this thing by 8:45 last night. The shelter-in-place order was lifted this morning. The fire department is saying there's no threat to public safety. There is, however, an air quality advisory in place.
You know, but I wouldn't be surprised if BlackRock owned the Tracy warehouse and the Kimberly Clark warehouse in Ontario. Just saying. If they do, open and shut case. But I'm sure details will emerge. I'm just saying.
It comes from the AQMD, and you see it on the map there. It applies to Boyle Heights, East LA, Montebello, and downtown LA. They are urging people in the impacted area to limit their exposure, to stay indoors, to avoid vigorous exercise, especially if you have a lung condition such as asthma.
So it is affecting me because I live around here by San Fernando. And yeah, some of that went my way. Like I said, it affected the whole city almost. It didn't affect the South LA County, it seems, because of the wind. But yeah, that's millions of people right there.
Who specializes in pulmonary care, and he also recommends using AC or air purifiers.
I mean, I have air purifiers all over my house. I have an air purifier in my living room down here, and I have a couple of upstairs, and each of my kids has one in their room. I like air purifiers because what they tend to do is they grab the...
I remember the SoCal Gas Company sent me and my family one because there was a gas leak in Porter Ranch, which isn't too far from where I stay at. And yeah, that thing is long like out of service by now. So I got to get a new air purifier. And not only that, like, it's like regardless if you have an air purifier, you're going to go outside. You're going to breathe what's outside. So it only does so much.
Antigen that can contribute to airway inflammation, and they just run it through that filter system and collect it. When you open an air purifier, you can see a lot of the gunk, for lack of a better term.
A little bit of history on this place. They did have a much smaller fire here in 2024. As for the fire here yesterday, they don't know exactly what the cause was. Investigators are looking into it, but they believe it started with those solar panels on the roof. There is damage to the inside of the warehouse as well.
All right, let's check the comments. I woke up smelling it in the morning. Crazy. I'm curious about so many warehouses burning down. Does anyone else think it looks suspicious? Yep. Very suspicious. These are all coordinated. So everyone is onto this. Everyone is onto this. Quick, I'm gonna make a quick search actually. Okay, so here it is. No, Lineage is not owned by BlackRock. Lineage is a temperature-controlled warehouse real estate investment trust. But BlackRock is simply an institutional investor. They also have that's not true. They have another separate company that owns these companies. Like many large publicly traded companies, BlackRock holds a minority stake in Lineage. So they do have a stake in it. There it is. I'm just saying. So anyway, let's shift. Let's see what happened in Texas and Louisiana because of this big tropical storm. It's causing damage. And this is as of this morning. Let's see what happened.
Confirmed tornadoes were reported in Illinois and Iowa last night. Look at this footage. It's from Montrose, Illinois. That's where homes were damaged and debris, as you see, was just sent flying.
It's always crazy
through
to
the
see
air.
tornado footage.
Effingham County, where Montrose is located, reported extensive damage to homes, businesses, and farms. There are no reports of serious injuries or deaths so far.
That's good.
In the South, they're still recovering from major flooding this week. Tropical Storm Arthur became the first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season. It formed just off the Texas coastline and brought flooding that caused lakes to overflow in the Gulf states. This footage.
Get your boats ready. I see some people with their boats outside.
Allen. He was in Texas yesterday. Now he's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with more on all of this. Jason, the tropical storm is now named. How are things where you are this morning?
Name. It's not even a hurricane.
Yeah, Errol, good morning. So Baton Rouge is one of those cities that has been under a flood watch because of Arthur and its remnants. The city making sandbags available to people because of some tremendous amounts of rain that were possible as the remnants of Arthur now pushes into Louisiana and across the South.
Sheets of heavy rain drenched parts of Texas Wednesday as Tropical Storm Arthur formed and strengthened.
Humidity storm, bro, in the summer.
Driving quickly turned dangerous with water building up on roads. In Houston, the bad weather didn't stop soccer fans from attending a World Cup match, thankfully indoors.
I mean, weather, nothing you can do, right? But it's once in a lifetime.
And in Enterprise, Alabama, this funnel cloud related to the tropical storm prompted a tornado warning. Arthur caused flooding in parts of Louisiana. Aerial video shows water surrounding homes and covering roads in Bundick Lake after days of heavy rain caused it to rise and overflow its banks. In St. Tammany Parish, firefighters had to help some residents evacuate flooded areas.
Man, that's annoying.
Elsewhere in the state, people filled sandbags to prepare for the rain as a threat of flash flooding.
Yeah, but it looks like they were prepared though. No serious casualties at all. That's good. That's good.
Continues even after Arthur has weakened.
God willing, this is, an adventure we won't have to go through, but just in case, we want to be safe.
There have been pockets of
better
heavy
being
rain here
safe than sorry.
Up to 9 inches, though, has fallen in parts of Louisiana if we go back to Sunday, just because of this weather pattern and then Arthur coming on shore. And Errol, this is just the beginning of a very long hurricane season that's still ahead.
Yeah. Which I will be monitoring. Let's see some comments. Prepare for a very dangerous rainy season. Weather control. That's a real thing. Look it up. Flooding, intense heat waves, wildfires. Right. The hurricane season just started less than 3 weeks ago and all goes all the way to November 30th. A lot more storms and flooding to come. Leave California, they said. Come to Texas, it's cheaper. Nah, I'm good. Hey, it's either a warehouse fire, some type of fire, or you could deal with a flood. Hey, choice is on you. Choice is on you. Anyway, please like, please subscribe, keep it locked. I'll keep you updated on everything that happens, including all these fires and all these storms, police pursuits, whatever it is. I got you. Anyway, I'm out.